Hi there, my name's Lauren Robertson and I'd like to share with you 5 common limiting beliefs that hold you back in your mediumship. When you're developing as a medium, there's 3 steps that you need to take. Number 1, you need to learn the fundamentals of spirit communication. Number 2, you need to get a ton of practice working with different types of sitters so that you can increase your experience and proficiency. But did you know step number 3, which is that you have to cultivate self-confidence and a mindset for success in order to be the clearest possible channel for spirit? So if you want to learn how to overcome the top 5 limiting beliefs that hold mediums back in their work with spirit, then keep on watching. Limiting belief number 1. People are judging me or criticising me. There are so many great mediums out there who keep themselves small because they worry that people are judging or criticising them. And they worry that if they become very proficient as a medium, if they become very well known or even famous, and they become really visible in the world, that the criticism and the judgment will only worsen. Can you relate to that? Well, I've got news for you. People are judging you and they are criticising you. People are judging you for whether or not you watch Game of Thrones, whether or not you like Marmite, and whether or not you're a cat or a dog person. And that's before we even get close to your interest in discovering the possibility of life after death. We judge each other all the time. That's part of being human. And if you're being super honest, you'll probably find that you have sometimes judged people too. The key to overcoming the fear that people are judging or criticising you so that you can get on with your most miraculous mediumship is not to wait and wait and wait for the perfect time when you're convinced that nobody's judging you. It's to build up your own self-confidence and self-esteem and your own relationship with spirit to the extent that you stop caring about other people's opinions and what other people might say about you. When we notice or we fear that people are judging us, it's usually a reflection of some way in which we're judging or criticising ourselves. So in a sense, it can be a blessing that we notice or fear that others are judging us, because it shows us where there's still room for us to love ourselves more. Limiting belief number 2, I'm not good enough. As a medium who sincerely wants to help and serve others, believing that you're not good enough is one of the most damaging things that you can believe. When we believe that we're not good enough, we believe that we're not loved. And when we believe we're not loved, we don't feel safe. And when we don't feel safe, we become very, very scared. And being very, very scared is not a good state to be in at all, whether it is in your life or in your mediumship. There are 2 different ways in which we can believe we're not good enough. Number 1 is that we can believe we're not good enough at something. So maybe you believe you're not good enough at receiving names from spirit, for example. And this is a relatively easy problem to solve, because if you believe you're not good enough at something, simply set yourself the goal of accomplishing it and work towards that goal consistently. So when you do begin to receive names from spirit consistently and people are taking them and acknowledging them as correct, then you can tick that off your list and say, I am good enough, because you've accomplished the thing that you set out to do. The second sense in which we can believe we're not good enough is a little bit harder to pinpoint. Usually it's just a sort of uneasy and icky, uncomfortable feeling or sensation. And again, this one is a little bit tougher to solve. If you're having the experience of feeling generally not good enough, the only cure that I know for that is love and bucket loads of it. Of course, it's important that you love yourself, that you look after yourself, that you make a practice of self-love front and centre and importance in your life. But actually my experience is there's only so much that the mind can love itself when it's been going through the issue of believing it's not good enough, before we actually need a supportive community to love us and to help us. And so I recommend, if you're struggling with the feeling of being not good enough, that you find a supportive, like-minded mediumship community who share your values, and you go there and allow yourself to receive love and be held in that community and in support. Limiting belief number 3, I'll never be as good as such and such. When I started my mediumship journey, I was just 16 years old, and I didn't really bother with what other mediums were doing. I just stayed in my lane and focused on being the best that I could be. But in recent years, with the blossoming of social media, it's all too easy to nosy around and snoop around at what other mediums are doing and find ourselves comparing our worst days to their best days. This is known as comparisonitis, and it's the sense of your self-worth becoming inflamed because you have compared yourself to somebody else. If you find yourself compulsively comparing yourself to other mediums and other practitioners and wondering why you're not further ahead or more like them, I recommend that you drop that damaging habit immediately. There is nothing that will erode a medium's confidence more than comparing yourself to someone else. There is only one medium that you need to compare yourself to, and that's you yesterday. If you are even 1% better as a medium than what you were yesterday, then you are heading in the right direction. And it's that 1% that makes all the difference. So rather than comparing yourself to this person or that person or this medium, think about focusing on being 1% better tomorrow than you are today. Limiting belief number 4, I'm stuck or I'm not getting anything. When we're working with spirit, especially in the early days when we're learning, we can often get into the habit of saying, I'm stuck or I'm not getting anything, as a way of being excused from the discomfort of stepping out of our comfort zones. But saying that you are stuck or you're not getting anything is actually doing a lot of damage in your mediumship. It's really limiting you, because success in your mediumship really is just on the other side of your comfort zone. And if you use those phrases to excuse yourself from making the effort, from trying, from sitting in the discomfort for a moment to see what happens, then you will absolutely limit your mediumship's ability to grow and improve. I recommend that you scratch out the phrases, I'm not getting anything or I'm stuck, from your mediumship vocabulary altogether. And instead, if you do get that feeling or that sense that you're getting a little bit stuck, I'd like you to use a question to open your mind instead of using a statement like I'm stuck, which closes the mind. A question that you might use is directed towards the person in spirit. Why are you giving me this sense that I'm feeling stuck? Trust that it's coming from the person in spirit, and that might open the conversation up again. Or you might ask within yourself, what does the sitter who's come for a reading need from me next? Or what do they need to hear next? Or what have they come for today? Any question that you can ask in your mind that's going to open a new door of awareness in your mind is much better than using a statement like I'm stuck or I'm not getting anything. Statements like that close your mind down, whereas questions open your mind up. Limiting belief number 5. I can't be a medium and be my true self. Now this is a limiting belief that you may not have thought of consciously, or it may have been subtly working on you in the background, but I wanted to include it because it's something that has affected me a great deal in my mediumship journey. You might see mediums speaking a certain way, saying certain things, dressing a certain way, reading certain books, going to certain places to learn their mediumship, and yet those things aren't really you. And so you might get stuck by the belief that if I don't do these things that aren't truly me, then I'm not really a medium. But if I'm true to myself, then I'm not doing things this way, and so I'm not learning to be a medium. And you might find yourself becoming stuck between being your true self and what you think a medium ought to be. I must assure you that the best way that you can be a fabulous medium is by being your best and happiest self. There is no one book or one teacher or one way of doing things that is better than you being your authentic self. It's really important in your mediumship that you find your own words, you find your own style, and you find your own way of doing things, and that you know within yourself that those things are blessed because that way of being was given to you so that you can put your own unique stamp on your mediumship. And so again, don't worry about the way things ought to be done, and focus on the way that feels the best, most empowered and truest way for you to connect with Spirit. That's all Spirit asks of you. So my friends, those were the top 5 limiting beliefs that hold you back in your mediumship. And now I would love to hear from you. Have you experienced any of these limiting beliefs? Which one are you working through right now? Please go ahead and share with us in a comment, and I will do my very best to make sure I respond to you. And if there's a medium in your life that you know and love, and you know they're having some difficulty with their own limiting beliefs, then please do share this video with them. They and I will appreciate it very much. My name's Lauren Robertson, the medium in Manolos, and thank you so much for being here with me today for this video. Bye!